why we have to share it. It doesn't work only for us. So I do believe it's happening for a reason, that we need to start preparing. We need to start understanding our third dimension, because if we don't understand where we are now, we cannot understand what is coming, because what is coming is something that is not, it's not physical. It's a vibrational upliftment. It's you need to match it in order to be with the next dimension. That's what I believe. Yeah.
What do you think is the best way to prepare and match this?
I think what we need to start doing is putting the pieces together. I know there's some people, like I said, they don't want to dabble in spirits or mediums or ghosts. And there's some people that don't really want to understand or accept the simulation theory. And I think what we need to start doing is listening to these stories and maybe take away a piece of the puzzle, whether it's how to meditate, whether it's looking at, angel numbers that you see everywhere, whether it's sacred geometry. We need to start putting all these pieces together, because it makes up a whole. And this whole picture is what we'll be facing and like what we'll be seeing in the next dimension. In the next dimension, it's not separate. It's not, here's sacred geometry, here's frequency, here's, mediumship. It's not it's all combined into one big cluster. And we need to understand that now and here before the reset comes. I think that's what we need to do. So whatever, I feel like you need to start going within. So if you feel like meditation is going to take you to the next level, if you enjoy sacred geometry, if you love to look at quantum, physics, then I think you should do what you feel needs to be done. A lot of, destruction, and there's a lot of death, and there's a lot of, when I look at those and I view that, I feel like it's an outlet for souls that are not ready for the frequencies. So I do believe it's going to be a completely different frequency that's going to be coming in. Yeah, much higher.
How soon do you think this is going to happen?
So again, one of my abilities is clairsentience. I'm not sure if you understand a lot about clairsentience. It's a lot of messages. So I came back with the ability to put everything together and look at it from a different perspective, look at everything. And one of the messages was that it will happen in this lifetime. I've been shown this in the astral realm, in dreams. They have said that it will be in this lifetime and that I need to get this message out, basically. So yeah.
Do you feel like the structure that is in the sky is in charge of everything in this dimension?
Oh, no. I do believe this dimension was hijacked. So I do believe there's a simulation that is happening, but there's also a simulation, a fake simulation that's over this plane, kind of like blinding us. They call it the veil. And this is what is stopping us from seeing the actual plane. But the veil will obviously only be lifted once we have reached that frequency to be able to see the proper simulation or dimension. But there is also the darkness that we need to individually deal with.
I posted a video yesterday of a woman who met beings, and they told her that we need to change our ways or bad things are going to happen on the planet. Do you feel that from what you've seen, the amount of darkness on the planet has been increasing?
Again, Jeff, my answer is going to be the same almost for everything. It's very subjective. If you see the darkness happening on the planet, it's because you need to see it. There's a reason why you see the darkness. It's because you need to deal with whatever is going on with you. But if you don't see as much darkness, and I'm going to blow it off. And I closed my eyes and she let me sleep a little bit. And the next thing I know, there was no popping sound or popping feeling. It felt like I sat up from my lying position and I looked around. Everything looked the same at the picnic area, but there was almost a glitch in the sky. And I couldn't understand what this glitch was. And so I sat up and I looked, when I looked next to me, my friend was no longer there. And I knew something had happened to me. And I thought, oh my gosh, what happened? Where am I? Like, am I dreaming? Or, I was lying on the blanket, and I thought this must be a dream. And I sat up and I looked and I saw this glitch. And it's almost like if you take two pieces of a screen and you fit it together, it's just out of place. Like the one frame does not fit the next frame, and everything just had a glitch. And I found that, really weird. I came back with the ability to see the sky for what it is. And I know that sounds a little bit weird, but there is a structure in the sky that is not man-made. It's more of an organic technology. And it took me a very long time to understand this. And then I realized what I'm actually looking into when I see the sky and the stars is actually the next dimension from this plane. And, Jeff, it was so scary when I first saw it the first time. I never wanted to step outside because I could see exactly what was going on. It looks like this huge, huge structure in the sky. And so if anyone is not ready to see that, can you imagine what chaos that'll create in your life if you're not ready to see that? So yeah, that is the difference between the third and the fifth for me.
Is this structure something that's naturally occurring or something that's been made by somebody, some being?
Yeah. Again, Jeff, I was agnostic. I did not believe in anything. And I needed proof, obviously to confirm what I'm seeing in the sky is correct. So no, it is not. It's not a natural occurrence. It is more of organic. I'm not sure if you heard the term before, organic technology. It's a technology that is very lifelike. It's not something we could possibly understand at the moment. It doesn't, because it works with our consciousness. So yeah, sorry, what was that question again?
Well, you answered it basically, but let's go deeper. What did it look like?
Yeah. Okay, so the structure in the sky, it looks like one big, I'm not sure if you heard the term a city in the sky. There's been, terminologies where a lot of people describe they've seen a city in the sky where it's just a bunch of lights and they all interlinked, and it looks like one massive, let's say, mothership that takes up an entire, probably bigger than Earth. It just wraps around Earth or this plane. And that's what it looks like, with a lot of lights, but it's definitely connected to our consciousness. So if your soul and your being is ready to see it, you will definitely see it, but it's literally looking into the next dimension. That's what I see.
Do you see it in both day and nighttime?
Mostly at night. I think because of the play of light. So during the daytime, I don't really see much. I do see, some objects, but mostly at night where there's not a lot of light.
So did you grow tired of seeing it and forced yourself not to have that ability anymore?
Oh, I can't get rid of the ability, to be honest. I've just learned to deal with it. It took me a couple of years, but now I do see them as non-threatening. So yeah, I do deal with it. I've accepted it.
At first, were you walking around and thinking, why doesn't everybody else see this?
Yeah.
Am I crazy or is everybody else crazy?
Absolutely. I thought I cannot be the only one. And that is why I thought, I was losing my mind, because I thought, well, there's so many astrologists and astronomers, and I thought surely they have to see something. But Jeff, I promise you, I've researched this a million times, and there is one Italian telescope maker. I think it's called the Santolini telescope, where I'm not sure what kind of lens he used, and it reverses the image. And what he found was that, you can Google this, it's called the Santolini telescope. And what it does, it reverses the image. And what he found was, over major cities, there are objects in the sky that are moving synchronistically, or I don't know how to say that, at a synchronistic place. And they're all moving together. And you know, the scientist Santolini, he was outed by his fellow scientists. And I thought, oh my God, like, you know, why doesn't anyone speak about this? This is exactly what I'm seeing, but without a telescope. So yeah, I was very freaked out, actually.
Besides this guy, have you ever met anybody else or read that anybody else has described this?
Absolutely. There is a YouTuber by the name of Jason Bouchard, and he has a channel called Archaics. And what he's done is, over the past 26 years, he has gathered all this information, and he does not do any research on the internet. He doesn't use the internet. He only uses past history books. And what he's done, he's come to the conclusion that there is a structure in the sky. He called it a structure in the sky because, going back to ancient times, in his history books that he's read, they talk about a city in the sky or lights in the sky. And this is just another confirmation. You know, his whole channel is dedicated to the simulation. He talks about the structure in the sky, the simulation, how everything is connected. And he also talks about the next reset, how the structure in the sky is connected to the next reset. He almost talks about it as a clock in the sky, where everything aligns and everything is clicking and ticking until the time comes where there will be a reset. And this structure in the sky has been seen in past history books, where they describe it as the sky glitched and everybody saw what is going on in the sky, and then it was covered back up by the clouds. So he also described this. So that was another complete confirmation that I'm not, like, you know, I'm not going crazy at all.
Do you think that we live in some type of simulation like the Matrix?
Absolutely, absolutely. But it's so, like I said, Jeff, you can't take quantum physics and simulation and science and you know, draw the line, because it's connected to our consciousness, it's connected to our soul, it's connected to our frequency, all of that. So yeah, I do. Sorry, what is the question?
Do you think that we live in a simulation like the Matrix?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, everything is connected. It's connected to our consciousness. Whatever's in the sky is connected to our consciousness. Like I said, like Jason said in his YouTube channel, is that he cannot come up with another reason or explanation than a simulation. Everything leads back to a simulation, which I completely agree. Not only because I see it every day, it's because there's just too much evidence that leads to it. And I'm glad everyone, you know, is now starting to speak about the simulation, because 5 years ago, I was like literally standing on top of a mountain trying to warn everybody. But now slowly, you know, everyone's accepting it, which is awesome.
So when you had your NDE, did you leave the Matrix?
Yes, I did. So when I had my NDE,